and then after that, it becomes a little easier. So, with that said, we've talked about yourself and how you got started and those kind of things. So let's apply that to how you teach that when you're talking to students and they're you have the early students, which are the undergrads and the the mid track guys. Then you have those guys that are about to graduate
Hmm.
or go on to graduate degrees. How do you start explaining to them that okay, this stuff that we've learned, when you go to apply it, it happens this way. If they go to grad school, they'll learn some of that.
Hmm.
But really, you don't learn it, as you well know. You don't learn it until you open the door to that first office you have, usually about the size of a broom closet with, with no windows in it, and saying, "Hey, get to work."
Yep. Yeah. The best way I teach it and the best way I found to teach it, and I'll answer this question, and then we can get into how I kind of progressed my career. But um, is I make them do it. I try to bring it to as many opportunities as I can that it like puts them in. Hey, we have this foundation, we have this science, these kind of root classes we have in exercise science and biology. Now let's go out and put it into practice. And this is
Okay.
why when I had the lab as a grad student, I was like, there's a lot of times where I went through courses that I was like, wow, I saw one VO2 max test and that was it. And now I'm supposed to be a proficient at it. Where we had
Right.
an opportunity that we had a marathon training class that we set up that we had 100 students in that class. So we did 100 VO2 max tests, body composition, lactate tests at the beginning of their training and at the end of their training. So
Wow.
that was 200 tests every
Yeah.
semester. And I just
That
brought in
sounds
as many undergrad and master's students like, and I can't write a textbook on looking at all those numbers coming through the screen and saying, hey, I know this, this, and this. I just stood there. They would stand over my shoulder and I'd be like, did you see this number change? That's what there's going on. Now look at them on the treadmill. Now let's go coach them, not coach them, but cheer them on, support them through a marathon, long run, and actually the marathon to get them to see it. And then when I went into as a visiting professor and an adjunct professor at different institutions, I always was like, I got to put you guys in where you actually have to go coach. You have to actually do something where you take these training plans that you wrote in my class that fit really cool and have all these references. Now go out and do it. Can you actually have those people do those workouts and they work out and then see how they apply? So I'm always looking for how do I apply the science to the actually doing it. And having one of the things that I've always found is I try to stay in contact with those students as much as I possibly can after they've graduated and gone and found something else to do, and have them come back to me and be like, wow, now I'm doing it. And I'm open for questions and answers and like guidance and that's why I've always loved the teaching part is the
right.
getting to know the students and guiding them through their careers more than just in the classroom. Because I'm like, cool, I gave you a B or C or whatever you did. It's usually those C and D students that went out in the world and applied it. And now they're coming back to me and be like, I remember what you said that second day of class on this day. I'm like, why didn't you, apply that to get an A? But now you're applying it, and that's all I care about is that
Yeah. I mean,
you're doing a great job with students and athletes in the real world.
sometimes you need to get skin up a little bit to before you understand why things are happening,
Yeah.
and uh, going out and applying what they've learned in that classroom in a real world situation, and starting to put together the art of coaching with the science of coaching